Faith isn't a feeling. It's obedience, especially when everything in you craves comfort. And lately, all around the world, comfort's been calling much louder than conviction. Every headline lately has been a tug of war. Shutdowns, protests, labels, and opinions. Everyone's been reacting, but very few are listening for God's voice. Even in my own world, my wife's surgery, the noise at work, it's easy to drown in all of the chaos. Well, faith doesn't wait for the storm to pass. It walks straight into it and says, God, I trust you. And that's not naivety. That's obedience. Come on, let's talk about it. The truth is, faith gets tested most when feelings get loud. Because feelings are great at convincing you that you're too tired, too overwhelmed, or too uncertain to trust. But obedience doesn't need to feel good to be right. That's why I do this. Not to prove that I'm tough, but to remind myself that trust doesn't need comfort to survive. Every time that I step in here, it's my way of saying, God, I trust you. Even when it's cold, uncertain, and uncomfortable. That's what walking by faith looks like. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7 says, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." You see, we are told to walk by faith. Not by what we feel, not by what we see, and most importantly, not by what we can control. Because feelings, they're loud. They tell you the world's falling apart, that your situation's too far gone, or that God must have taken his hand off the wheel. But faith whispers, keep walking. Faith says, you don't need proof to obey. You just need trust. Not trust in the things of this world, but trust in the one who has overcome it. Jesus Christ. He came and died for our sins so that one day we could be brought into the kingdom of heaven. A place where we won't have to depend on these worldly lies and things we are told that we need. You see, right now, everything feels uncertain. The biggest thing going on is the government shutdown. And the moment you turn on the news, you can't help but see or hear about it. Nobody's listening. Nobody's agreeing. Nobody is grounded right now. Seeing it reminds me of when I was a kid at my cousin's house. When we'd argue over a toy, my aunt would sit us down and make us talk. Most of the time, we'd realize the real problem wasn't that we disagreed. It was just that we didn't listen long enough to understand what the other person was saying. And I believe that's what's happening right now. Everyone's feelings are running the show. Everyone wants comfort. Everyone wants control. Everyone wants answers right now. But something this ice bath is teaching me is that sometimes the best teacher for anything is a little discomfort. Going back to my aunt, for us, it was that old metal red high chair, the infamous red chair. My aunt would set us in that chair and set a timer for 10 minutes, and then she would sit you right there while everyone else kept having fun. And let me tell you, nothing humbles a bad mood faster than watching an old egg timer tick down, second by second. Faith works the same way. God doesn't rush your growth just because you're uncomfortable. Sometimes he lets you sit in the red chair not to punish you, but to teach you patience, obedience, to teach you trust. You see, faith doesn't move fast, but it does move forward. When you choose obedience over and over again, you're choosing to do the right thing, even when it's not easy, even when it doesn't feel good. And here's the thing. Those right things, they start to stack up. They become a pattern, a legacy, one your kids will see and build on. A legacy that teaches them they don't have to live trapped by the nonsense of today, because you've shown them what faithfulness actually looks like. Remember, obedience rarely feels good in the moment, but it always builds something that lasts. And with that, though, day 292 down. Remember, be kind, be great, dial it in, and most importantly, keep on sending it. Listen, did you know that there are a lot of studies out there that have shown that kids are more than 10 times more likely to repeat what you model more than what you say? Every act of obedience you make, even the small ones, is teaching them something. Your kids are watching how you handle pressure. They're watching how you lead when life gets cold and out of control. I say this to remind you, stack the right choices. Build the kind of legacy that outlives the noise today, because that's what matters. All right. It's cold, and I got some stuff to go beat the kids in. So until tomorrow, it's clench butt cheeks time.